I'm back. Rodrance for our Black and White Network. If you're new to our channel, make sure you bang that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. We've covered Disney a lot on this channel for various reasons, various years, whether it was Lucasfilm completely taking an utter and complete dump on the property, the beloved property of Star Wars, whether it is post-Endgame MCU, and really slightly before that with Captain Marvel, Disney has been slowly but surely changing their product over to a more leftist woke ideology. Well, as we're going to talk about in this video, we're going to find out that Disney behind the scenes has been working on this in schools for a very, very long time, and I'm sure much like me, you will be repulsed. Now, Ron DeSantis is trying to fight this, and he has slapped Disney and slapped them real damn hard down there, taking a lot of their perks away, including this own private little state they had going on in the actual state of Florida. Well, let's get to this. Post-millennial. Wow. Disney funds gender identity and LGBTQ curriculum in schools and has been for 20 years. Disney announced with pride their plans to fund 10 organizations that are based in advocacy and education around LGBTQ issues, specifically for children and teens. Let the poison flow here for us. Wow. Among these groups receiving funding is GLSEN, which pushes gender identity and LGBTQ curriculum to schools in the U.S. GLSEN, or Gilson, maybe we can call it for short, provides resources for educators towards, quote, developing LGBTQ inclusive classroom resources that, quote, promote safer school environments. For who? By, quote, developing lessons that avoid bias and that include positive representation of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people, history, and events, working it into everyday classroom curriculum. Are you with me so far? The idea is that lessons should start in elementary school. Wow. I have been somewhat critical. As much as I really like Ron DeSantis, I've said I don't think his parental education law goes far enough. I don't like the fact that it cuts off in the 3rd grade. Keep this shit out of public schools, period. Keep it out of public schools. K through 12. Remove it. Oh, okay, let that be up to the parents what they choose to subject their children to. Quote, students of all ages must be given an opportunity to learn the words gay, lesbian, transgender are adjectives that should be used with respect to describe people in their community, not words used in a negative way to hurt, insult, or degrade, Jelson says. Further, an LGBTQ-based curriculum should be implemented, quote, into the most content areas. Wow. Into most content areas. Think about that. And should facilitate students their own discovery of their gender identity. Keep in mind out there that kids are transitioning. Kids are making changes. Schools know it, and they're not telling the parents about it. Quote, care should be taken to fill gaps while looking for opportunities to deepen student understanding of their world and identities. Jolson writes, quote, LGBTQ people, history, and events can easily be inserted into most content areas. Teaching about identity at any age is valuable for students and can be considered part of social emotional learning. Wow, let's just make up terms. Okay. Curriculum should provide students with opportunities to reflect on their own identities. You know, they're given their own identities at birth. It's called male, female, including gender identity and expression, family diversity, including LGBTQ headed families, and the types of relationships they may want to build. To hell with anybody that's following traditional Christian value sets at home. That's the other thing this is targeting. Make no mistake, it's targeting your Christian values. Jillson provides lessons that teachers can use to indoctrinate students into these views. Many of these lessons center on teachers drawing out students to talk about their own identities and explorations of these perceived identities. All right. In early elementary, students will be taught about non-traditional family structure and gender stereotypes. Think about this a moment. Students will be taught non-traditional family structures. Upper elementary brings a lesson called, quote, Identity Flowers, which encourages students to explore their own identities, personal experiences with race, culture, ability, family structure, religion, spiritually, and gender identity and expression. Encourages students to explore their own identities and personal experiences with race, culture, ability, family structure, religion, spiritually, and gender identity and expression. Middle school lessons are about giving students an opportunity to experience what it's like to be labeled in a negative way and encourages empathy for those who are labeled negatively. Therefore, high school lessons teach students how to be, quote, empowered through self-identification. The lessons teach students how to undertake the process of self-identification and to then be proud of those identities they identify with. In the discipline of science, children are meant to learn that sex isn't all about gender binary and should be taught per Jensen about animals, diversity, and gender and family structure. By middle school, children learning science and sex ed should be given the gender triangle. What? So they can learn to distinguish between gender identity, gender expression, and bodies. Educators teach about biology, human bodies in a way that do not reinforce gender binaries and intersect people. In this lesson, student will learn chromosomes have nothing to do with a person's gender. Oh, here we go. Gender education guide. Wow. Body, how your body exists and changes. Expression, gender identity. Wow. Okay. High school lessons will focus on the problem with Western culture. The problem with Western culture, which traditionally views reproduction between men and women and how many stories are from different from traditional views. So, again, it's a war on traditional family units, okay? A lot of that is based in Christianity, make no mistake. In each and every area, Jensen has ways that teachers can incorporate lessons on gender identity and LGBTQ advocacy and issues from 1st through 12th grade. And Disney has been funding them for over 20 years. Disney has given funds to organizations around the world that support LGBTQ plus communities in celebration of Pride and our Pride collection. Disney writes, for our 2022 Pride collection, we are further deepening support and look forward to sharing more information shortly. They list 10 groups. The new funds provided by Disney will be used to deepen the impact of student leadership programs, racial equity, capacity building through the Jensen including network, including programs such as the Jelson National Student Council and Freedom Fellows. Disney has recently come under fire after executives and Chapek opposed Florida's new parental rights in education bill. 68% of Americans said they were less likely to do business after their stance was made clear. Wow. Kind of a long video, but it peeled back a lot of layers, did it not? It showed us exactly what Disney is giving its money to and how long it's been doing it and to what levels they're syncing their curriculum. Did you see the little graphic triangle? I'm sure it's going to be in the thumbnail, most likely on this video. But this is the kind of thing they are poisoning your children with, plain and simple. I mean, I'm this close, even in rural Texas, to yanking my kid out of school and going with homeschooling because I want our values, especially from a Christian standpoint, based. All right, I do want the traditional family unit to be at the most emphasized for my child. Okay, and I think parents should have the right to choose that. I do. I do not think this is something that should be making its ways into public schools. I find it repugnant. But that's how they do this, okay? The traditional family unit is being attacked, and corporations like Disney are funding this entire shit show. Wow. Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. Wow, this is what Ron DeSantis is fighting against. And now we know Disney has been funding it a lot longer than we suspected. And I suspect this is why you started seeing more and more acquisitions of products like Lucasfilm, like Marvel in the MCU. They can spread this wider and wider. They can cast a bigger net to get to your kid, frankly. Wow. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.